In the words of Seneca, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. And that isn't poetry, it's a rule, because the life you want cannot begin until the version of you that keeps settling is finished. Let me ask you something honestly. If you had 7 days to erase the habits, the mindset, and the identity that's been holding you back for years, would you actually take it? Or would you do what most people do and tell yourself you'll start when things calm down? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. People don't stay stuck because they lack information. They stay stuck because they keep negotiating with the same behaviors that already wasted their last year. What if the future version of you isn't waiting for motivation, confidence, or a perfect moment, but is waiting for one brutal decision followed by action with no exit plan? This is not a soft reset, and it's not another feel-good routine you forget in a week. This is a controlled demolition, a 7-day identity wipe where comfort loses its grip, excuses lose their power, and discipline becomes non-negotiable. By the end of this week, you won't just feel different, you'll move differently, think differently, and carry yourself in a way that makes people pause. But understand this before we go any further. The hardest part of transformation isn't effort. It's letting go of who you've been pretending to be. Once you see what you're capable of, you can't unsee it. And that's exactly why most people never start. So if you're done waiting, done playing small, and done letting comfort decide your future, listen carefully, because your transformation doesn't begin with motivation. It begins with destruction. Before anything new can be built, something must be torn down. And today, that something is your old identity. Not your past mistakes, not your circumstances, but the version of you that keeps choosing comfort over growth. The habits you tolerate, the excuses you repeat, the routines you defend. These aren't random, they are who you've been. And if you don't end that identity deliberately, it will quietly pull you back every time you try to change. Today is about brutal self-awareness, not self-hate, not guilt, but ownership. You look at your life exactly as it is and stop lying to yourself about why it looks that way. The late nights, the distractions, the wasted hours, the people who drain you, the goals you talk about but never execute, all of it gets exposed today. Because clarity is painful, but staying blind is fatal. Change demands sacrifice, and the first sacrifice is your attachment to who you've been. The mind resists this because familiarity feels safe, even when it's destroying you. Comfort whispers that you can change later, that this isn't the right time, that you've already tried before. Ignore it. The pain of discomfort is temporary, but the pain of staying the same compounds quietly until years disappear. Today you draw a line and decide that mediocrity is no longer acceptable. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. You acknowledge the fears that have dictated your choices, the narratives you've used to justify inaction, and the comfort zones that slowly became your prison. Awareness alone isn't enough, though. Awareness without action just turns into frustration. So today, you make it physical. You write down every habit, excuse, and behavior that no longer serves the person you are becoming. You don't romanticize the past, and you don't negotiate with it. You acknowledge it, then you end it. Tear it up, burn it, destroy it, do whatever creates a clear psychological break. This isn't superstition, it's programming. When you create a physical act of separation, your mind understands that this isn't a phase, it's a point of no return. You are telling yourself that the old patterns no longer have permission to exist. From this moment forward, every decision is measured against the person you are becoming, not the person you were. Doubt will show up, old habits will try to pull you back, but you remind yourself that you've already crossed the threshold. Day one isn't about becoming stronger yet. It's about making sure the old version of you can't follow you where you're going. And once that door closes, there is no going back. Day two is where excuses collapse, because your body never lies. Your body reflects your standards. If you feel weak, unfocused, or drained, that's feedback. Today, you stop ignoring it. Physical reinvention isn't about looks or approval, it's about control. When your body is disciplined, your mind stops negotiating. When your body is neglected, your thoughts become soft. You move first, not when you feel motivated, but because action silences doubt. Train your body hard enough that your mind stops arguing. Run, lift, walk fast, do calisthenics, anything that forces effort. Discomfort is the point. When your muscles burn and your breath tightens, The voice that usually talks you out of discipline loses power. The Stoics understood this. They practiced voluntary discomfort to master themselves, not to suffer. Cold, effort, fatigue, these were tools. When you choose discomfort, fear loses control. Cold showers stop feeling like punishment and start feeling like proof. Early mornings stop feeling cruel and start feeling empowering. Physical hardship builds mental resilience. What you consume matters. Food and water shape clarity. Cut processed junk, sugar, and alcohol. Eat simply and intentionally. Drink water like focus depends on it, because it does. Fuel determines performance. Fix your posture. Stand tall. Move with intention. Posture tells your brain who you are. Strong posture creates confidence before confidence exists. Physical reinvention isn't about age. If you're young, push harder. If you're older, stay consistent. Movement is non-negotiable. Stillness creates decay. Motion creates momentum. By the end of day 2, you won't feel hype. You'll feel grounded, present, and sharper. And once your body is under control, your mind follows. By day 3, the body starts cooperating, but the mind pushes back. This is where most people fail. Not because they can't continue, but because their thoughts start negotiating. Doubt disguises itself as logic. Fear pretends to be realism. Today, you take control of that voice. Your mind runs on programs, and many of them were installed years ago. Beliefs about what you deserve, what you can handle, and what's possible for you. If you don't rewrite those programs, they will run your life automatically. The Stoics understood this clearly. You don't control events, but you fully control how you interpret them. And once you control perception, you control your response. Today, you stop labeling discomfort as bad. You reframe it as training. Pressure becomes preparation. Resistance becomes refinement. Instead of reacting emotionally, you respond intentionally. This single shift changes how you experience everything. Your internal language matters. Weak language creates weak action. Every time you say, "I can't," "maybe," or "I don't know," you reinforce hesitation. Replace it with decisive language. "I'll figure it out. I'll learn. I'll handle it." Your brain believes repetition, not logic. Remember this principle. Time is limited, not to create fear, but urgency. Every day you delay is gone forever. Once you understand that, you stop wasting energy on nonsense and focus only on what moves you forward. You also begin visualizing your future self daily, not as fantasy, but rehearsal. See how you move, speak, and decide, then act accordingly. Identity follows behavior, not intention. By the end of day 3, your thoughts feel quieter and sharper, less emotional, more directed, and with your mind under control, you're ready to change how the world responds to you. By day 4, something shifts. You don't need to say more, you need to say less. Presence isn't volume, it's certainty. People don't respond to noise, they respond to control. Today, you stop trying to be noticed and start becoming undeniable. How you enter a room matters. Your posture, your pace, your eye contact all speak before you do. Stand tall, move slowly. Stillness creates gravity. Silence, when used correctly, carries more power than words. Those who are secure don't rush to explain themselves. The Stoics valued restraint. They understood that uncontrolled speech reveals insecurity, while measured speech signals strength. Today, you cut filler words, nervous explanations, and emotional reactions. You speak with intention. You listen more than you talk. Presence is awareness combined with composure. Your appearance matters, not for vanity, but for alignment. When you respect yourself visually, your behavior follows. Clean grooming, intentional clothing, and strong posture send a message before a word is spoken. You don't demand respect, you invite it. By the end of day 4, people may not comment, but you'll feel it. Conversations shift, attention lingers. You no longer blend in. You don't force authority, you embody it, and that prepares you for the next phase, where action becomes unavoidable. Day 5 is where separation happens. This is the day you stop being like most people. Most people stay stuck in planning, thinking, and waiting. They collect information, overanalyze every move, and tell themselves they'll act when they feel ready. That moment never comes. Today, you break that pattern. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. You don't wait for confidence. You move first and let confidence catch up. The Stoics believed character is revealed through action, not intention. You don't debate what a disciplined person would do. You do it immediately. Hesitation weakens you. Every pause feeds doubt. So today, you act decisively. Apply, start, speak, move. Imperfect action is better than perfect delay. Momentum builds confidence, and confidence fuels more action. You focus only on what you control, your effort, your discipline, your decisions. Everything else is noise. Failure isn't avoided, it's expected and used. Mistakes become feedback, not proof of weakness. By the end of day 5, you don't feel fearless, you feel capable, and that capability changes how you approach everything that comes next. By day 6, motivation has done its job. Now it becomes irrelevant. Motivation fades, but systems remain. People don't fail because they lack desire. They fail because they rely on emotion instead of structure. Today, you make discipline automatic. You stop depending on willpower and start designing your environment. Good habits become easy. Bad habits become inconvenient. Your schedule reflects your priorities. Your space supports focus. When structure is in place, progress happens even on days you don't feel like trying. The Stoics understood this. They didn't rely on inspiration, they relied on routine and self-review. Each day was examined, adjusted, and improved. You adopt the same approach. What worked today stays. What didn't gets corrected. This turns growth into a system instead of a struggle. Systems eliminate decision fatigue. You no longer debate whether to train, work, or focus. It's already decided. And when discipline becomes the default, consistency compounds quietly. By the end of day 6, you're no longer forcing change. You're living inside it. And with structure in place, there's only one step left. Day 7 is not about celebration, it's about permanence. Because change only matters if it holds. Your old identity will try to return quietly, disguised as comfort, nostalgia, or just this once. Today, you deny it access. You understand something now that most people never do. Every action is a vote for who you are becoming. There is no neutral ground. You either reinforce the new version of yourself or slowly slip back into old patterns. Awareness alone isn't enough. Identity must be defended. Today, you define your standards, what you tolerate, what you refuse, how you live, how you speak. You write a new personal code and commit to it, not emotionally, but behaviorally. Discipline becomes non-negotiable. You also protect your environment, your space, your inputs, your circle. Anything that pulls you backward gets removed. This isn't arrogance, it's survival. Growth requires boundaries. By the end of day 7, you're no longer experimenting with change. You've proven something to yourself. Transformation doesn't require years. It requires commitment. Most people will return to routine tomorrow. You won't. You now have the blueprint. What happens next is your decision. 7 days ago, most people watching this were living on autopilot, repeating the same habits, the same excuses, and the same internal conversations that quietly kept them stuck. Nothing about that felt dramatic, which is exactly why it was dangerous. Decline doesn't announce itself. It hides in comfort. Now you've seen the blueprint. Not motivation, not theory, but a structured path that proves real transformation doesn't take years. It takes commitment. You dismantled an outdated identity, rebuilt your body, sharpened your mind, changed how the world responds to you, learned to execute without hesitation, and installed systems that make discipline automatic. And here's what matters most. You can't unsee what you're capable of now. Comfort no longer feels safe, it feels limiting. Excuses no longer feel harmless, they feel expensive. That awareness is permanent. Even if you try to go back, it will never feel the same. From this point forward, every decision becomes simple. You either act like the person you've become, or you slowly return to who you were. There is no neutral ground. Growth requires maintenance. Identity requires reinforcement. Most people will close this video and return to routine. You don't have to. You already have proof that change is possible. Not someday, but now. The only question left isn't whether this works. It's whether you'll continue. Because once you choose discipline over comfort, execution over excuses, and identity over emotion, you don't just improve your life. You become unrecognizable.